And at what point is clarity in how you really feel or objective truths relevant? Let's say, for example, someone's overweight. It's like, hey, you're fat. I know it
Um,
sounds harsh,
all right.
but
Yeah.
I'm
Um,
saying, like, when is it relevant to do that? Like, I feel like, especially my generation, and perhaps, there's some resentment there for me, but I feel like we are constantly told how amazing we are. We've become very soft. Our hands are moisturized, like we're we have no hardship, and it feels like we need to get back to being clear with people about the reality of things.
so
What do you think about that?
everyone's a little bit uh, over coddled. Is that what you're suggesting? They're a little bit getting too many. You came 13th, yay, in the race type stuff. Is that?
That's one example, but also mean, like, over mothered in a way. Like, you have your parents who are supposed to bring you here into the world, which is, it's more than that. I'm just saying,
Mm,
keep it simple, right? But let's say, for example, I have, I got my mate Johnny, who, like, he's put, excuse me,
mm,
he's put on weight, and rather than saying to him, oh, it's gonna be okay, man. Like, you just train, brother. Like, it's gonna be okay. It's like, dude, you're fat.
mm,
Like, at what point is that important? Because I hear the sandwich thing, right? I hear that a lot. I just feel like there's not enough negative reinforcement anymore, right? We
mm.
run away from what's negative and towards what's positive. It's like, hey, man, you're fat, but you can go to the gym and sort that out.
Yeah.
At what point is that relevant, if at all?
Well, once again, it's only advice should only be given if it's asked for directly, and then even only ever given based on what you would do if you're in their situation. That's
Nice.
one way. And secondly, there's a pendulum that happens in just about everything in the world, and it's a self-correcting pendulum. So if we've gone into a period over a couple of generations where we had children that were seen and not heard, and we had children that were um, told
Nice.
stuff, and we had people that were um, you had to follow the line, you had to get a job, you had to get married, you had to raise children, you had to own your house, you had to get the gold watch, and then you could go die peacefully knowing that you did that job well. You had a life well lived. Um, and then all of those children who were pushed down into the ground with a thumb with their self-esteem say, I'm never doing that. If I ever have kids, I'm going to give them love and freedom and attention, and
Nice.
and I'm going to be there for them 24 hours a day, and I'm going to protect them like I was unprotected and like I felt unsafe. And of course, any extreme behaviour will begot an extreme behaviour. So if you spend a lot of time protecting your children, they're, as you were suggesting, they're not going to learn how to protect themselves. If you keep making decisions for people, they're not going to trust their own decisions. They're going to be continually asking, what should I do? I'm too scared to make a decision because I never made one. Mum and dad have always made them. I always go to them going, I don't know what to do. And because their parents have always been there to tell them what to do to protect them and keep them safe, unlike their childhood, that child then doesn't trust their own decision-making abilities. Um, so the pendulum may have swung a little bit too far, but once again, I trust that it'll swing back. Um, and and then your parents generally leave the earth before you do, and you'll have to make your own decisions. And you'll make mistakes, and you'll learn from the mistakes, and you'll trust yourself in that process.